Hey, welcome back. We're reading the Quran, Surah 34, Saba. We're on verse 32. The arrogant ones will say to those who had been despised, "Was it we who kept you back from guidance after it reached you? Nay, rather it was ye who transgressed." Those who had been despised will say to the arrogant ones, "Nay, it was a plot of yours by day and by night. Behold, ye constantly ordered us to be ungrateful to Allah, and to attribute equals to Him. They will declare their repentance when they see the penalty. We shall put yokes on the necks of the unbelievers. It would only be a requital for their ill deeds. Never did we send a warner to a population, but the wealthy ones among them said, We believe not in the message with which ye have been sent. They said, We have more in wealth and in sons, and we cannot be punished. Oh, hiding behind your wealth, right? Like, that's the dangers when you get such a huge ego, and you got so much riches to the point where you think that you're beyond the reach of God. That's when you become real scary. Wow, that is like how many monarchies thought that? Oh, wow, so many. That's some real deal right there. Say, Verily my Lord enlarges and restricts the provision to whom he pleases, but most men understand not. This I've been saying to myself a lot. I really have. It's like, okay, so like for example, uh, when you work in the culinary world like me, right? There's a lot of fighting over tip out percentages, right? Because there's a point where your employer should pay the workers instead of you having to give away your tips that the customers gave you, right? Because it comes around tax season, and it depends on if the employer is going to make you pay the taxes even on the money you tipped out, or you're only going to have to claim what you walked home with. So there's a lot of fighting in the culinary world about tipping percentages and taxes and tips in general. And when the manager and I were butting heads, I lost the argument basically. But this verse in the very beginning of the Quran, this has been repeated, right? This particular theme. It made me feel better because I was like, man, just let it go. Let it go. And we weren't talking about pennies here. I'm talking like 400 more gone out of the pocket, right? It was a hefty chunk. And it was a hard pill to swallow. But I thought, you know what? Just take it. You don't know what the future holds. Just take it. Just take it. Just give it, and I did, and it eased the pain. It wasn't easy, but I just kept saying to myself, it doesn't matter. The Creator gives to who He gives. He has His own reason. He knows what I don't know. I got rice, I got milk, I got eggs, I got bread, I got coffee, I got donuts. I'm okay, right? So it helps. I think if we thought about this, we'd be less jealous of each other. We really would. It is not your wealth nor your sons that will bring you nearer to us in degree, but only but only those who believe and work righteousness. These are the ones for whom there is multiplied reward for their deeds, while secure they reside in the dwellings on high. Those who strive against our signs to frustrate them will be given over into punishment. Say, Verily my Lord enlarges and restricts the sustenance to each of His servants as He pleases, and nothing do ye spend in the least in His cause, but He replaces it, for He is the best of those who grant sustenance. Wow. Don't tell that to the banks, right? Credit card companies don't want you to think that at all. They do not. One day He will gather them all together and say to the angels, Was it you that these men used to worship? Oh, people worshiping angels instead of God. They will say, Glory to Thee, our tie is with Thee as protector, not with them. Even the angels are gonna... Nay, but they worshipped the jinns. Most of them believed in them. They worshipped the jinns. Whoa. So people praying to angels and praying to jinns. instead of just praying to God. So on that day, no power shall they have over each other, for profit or harm. We shall say to the wrongdoers, taste ye the penalty of the fire, which ye were wont to deny. When our clear signs are rehearsed to them, they say, this is only a man who wishes to hinder you from the worship which your fathers practiced. And they say, this is only a falsehood invented. And the unbelievers say of the truth when it comes to them, this is nothing but evident magic. But we had not given them books which they could study, nor sent apostles to them before thee as warners. We had not given to them books we could study on magic? And their predecessors rejected the truth. These have not received a tenth of what we had granted to those. Yet they rejected my apostles. How terrible was my rejection of them. Say, I do admonish you on one point, that ye do stand up for Allah. It may be in pairs, or it may be singly, and reflect within yourselves your companions is not possessed. He is no less than a warner to you in face of a terrible penalty. Say, no reward do I ask of you, it is all in your interests. My reward is only due from Allah, and He is witness to all things. Say, verily my Lord doth cast the mantle of truth over His servants, He that has full knowledge of all that is hidden. All that is hidden. Say, the truth has arrived, and falsehood neither creates anything new nor restores anything. Say, if I am astray, I only stray to the loss of my own soul. But if I receive guidance, it is because of the inspiration of my Lord to me. It is He who hears all things and is ever near. If thou couldst but see when they will quake with terror, but then there will be no escape for them, and they will be seized from a position quite near. They will be seized from a position quite near. And they will say, we do believe now in the truth, but how could they receive faith from a position so far off? Saying that they did reject faith entirely before, and that they continually cast slanders on the unseen from a position so far off. And between them and their desires is placed a barrier, as was done in the past with their partisans, for they were indeed in suspicious disquieting doubt. There's a new section, Fatir. Oh, this looks like it's going to be very interesting. Wow. This 41, man, it's blowing my mind. They worship the jinns. Oh, that'd be scary. And some people, and the angels is going to be asked, like, some people, they pray to you, right? Wow. Don't pray to the jinns and don't pray to the angels, right? Oh, it's so crazy. Oh, man. It would have been, I bet you there's going to be more about the jinns in the front book, but man, every time I hear about them, it always blows my mind. Always. Always.